It's nice to see you here. And yeah, let me start again. Oh, let me start again with the last week task. And actually, it was the same situation, like the one I have last week when I started to actually compare the results of the quest I built and the other participants. I found that it's completely so it seemed wrong. So I was doing rewriting this query, and I think now it's okay. But I still need to check a couple of things. Some and you are welcome to again to comment and maybe point out why the difference. I think that anyhow we today I will with your help or myself finalize this, but it's already seems to be normal. So let me start with I think what would be the logical thing to do would be this. So let me share my solution for the last week task. And along the way, by the way, you are you're welcome to comment. Maybe okay. Okay. So Google Chrome, and let's get back to the competition. Yes, to the competition task. What it was, just to reiterate very fast, not as it was last time. So that we want to find the sandwich transactions, and at sandwich transaction we define that it's 3 consecutive transactions that are actually executed, all of them swaps, and that they have this structure of signers. That means that the signer of the first one is attacker, the second is the target, and the third one is again attacker. And they are trading the same token, and this operation is profitable for an attacker. Specifically for target, it's just a swap. So so that in here you're writing that there could be different ways to extract these transactions, but basically anything that works is good. So for this specific task, so I wouldn't go to the all the explanation as it was the last time. Here is it? Yeah, this one. Yeah. So how did I approach to this task? The first of all is the part which is called sandwich candidates. It's basically we want these triples of transactions in the same block in going one after another. So for this, we have this window function that partitioned by slot and ordered by index. That's what we want. It doesn't guarantee that they are consecutive, but it's a necessary condition. So here we have this delimitation we have in the task, so it make it manageable. Of course, we only want the successful transactions. And I think this one is the artifact from the previous solution, and here it's not needed, but just ignore this. But what is important here? Yeah, so what we need here, we need ID, and I think signature is this ID signature. These two fields are basically the same for the usually the same for the Solana transaction table. I think they are the same. And what is important here that we want these triples. Yeah. So for this we use the lead with the two options. The one with the no argument, which means that just the next record, and the second one with the two. Again, we don't need this. The second one with the two, it means that this one, like the difference for index is two, so it's another one, and we call this the first one we would call before, the second one we call target, and the third one is after. So we want to basically what we want here the triples of the consecutive transactions, and for those we are yeah, so later we will filter them, but for now we are just taking all of them that are successful inside the block and going in consecutive order. Yeah, I think this should be simple part, but if you have any questions, write them or turn on the mic. Yeah. So yeah, so if we have understanding that this is like we understand this clear part, so then we are joining with the DEX trades. So for each of these transactions, first of all, we want that transaction to have a swap. So that means that we can inner join with this DEX Solana trades for each of these three transactions. For the transaction before trade, this is the from the sandwich candidates, it's the ID, and the next one we call here target transaction ID, and the second one is after transaction ID. All of them are the same way. We only need the transactions in this region of time. All of them should have swaps. Yeah, basically this. So when we are joining this way, so we want to, so we have this, we need to keep in mind that in this DEX Solana trades, there could be multiple trades for the same transaction, and that will lead to multiple records. And for now, it's fine. So just to keep in mind that we don't, there is no guarantee that for transaction we'd have only one swap row. It could be multiple. Yeah. So what else is here? So yeah. So here, yeah, here for the trades, similar. We have the before target and after trade. And for this, we just want to understand what was swapped and what so and the amounts. Also, we need amounts of the tokens that were swapped to the both sides. So in order to understand if it's profitable or not. Yeah, basically this. Yeah, and again, this is not needed. Yeah, so so here what we actually check in this the whole combination of these triples with additional swaps. So what we actually check in is that they are all successful, and we are checking that they are consecutive. This, I think it's more or less clear. And we are checking that the first one and the third one transaction have the same signer, like an attacker signer. And the in the middle, it's another one. So because we can easily, there could be easily cases when all these three transactions are the same signer. And this is the case we don't want. So yeah, now we are like understanding that the first transaction here, it is like the first and the second transaction should be the same direction. So, for example, if the target is buying, the attacker is also should buy, and the third transaction should be like the other way around. So if the attacker is buying, it should sell in the end. So it's what is here. So the target transaction is the same swap, same side, and yeah. So here is the token pair. It's easier. So it's the same pair actually, and no, yeah. So it's later. So the directions are later. Here we just check in that the transaction is done with the same token. It's the same token pair. Yeah, it's the later. So here I actually limiting only to the like the first transaction should be buying. This is because I actually trying to look to these sandwich transactions and never found anything else. Yeah, so this potentially could lose some transactions, and I will double check this and maybe fix this. But right now, it's the filtering is done simply by only if something is bought with Sol, the first transaction is buying some token with Sol, and the later, so the additional conditions that the target transaction is also buying the same token. And we have here. So it also buying with Sol because the token pair is the same, and the third transaction of attacker is selling. So it's let me show where it is. Yeah, here we check in again that's we're buying the same token, and like the attacker buying transaction and selling and target buying transaction are the same tokens, the same direction, and for for the last transaction of attacker, it should be other way around. Yeah, here it is. So here it is, the different order. So that's what we expect. And let me check. I think this is redundant. Yeah, so here we check that the first and the second transaction had the same token, same direction. Here we check that the second transaction, the third transaction has the opposite direction. And I think here again, we check in that the first transaction and third transaction has the opposite direction. So basically this, we can easily remove this condition. So it would be always true if the first two are true. So yeah, and the last thing is that inside this transaction, we only want the if. So we know that if it's we're buying with the souls, we are buying some token with it. So we are saying, okay, we want only transaction when we bought at least the amount we sold. So we don't want the transaction where we have some tokens before and we sell in more. And this is the way how we make a profit. So we want, so we didn't lose tokens and we get some Solana. This is the two conditions that are how we making sure it's profitable. Yeah, basically that's it. This is the current version. I rewrite it because I saw that there are some errors, so I rewrite it with this logic, and I think now it should be correct. this might be too like limiting. So there might be some transactions, still some transactions that are not buy and we sold, but I will check this part. So do you have maybe questions about this or comments, or maybe you spot some strange things? Okay, so guess it's not. Yeah, so as I said, I will double check. There are some participants that have like a very good. Let me actually show. Yeah, it's a little bit messy. So they're saying that there's a couple of participants that are having very similar results, like 70% of the same transaction triples. So it means that their solutions are very similar, but I think either me is missing something or them. So I'm sorry for this. So I will have the results today and finalize them. And yeah, so it's again uh, took more than I expected of the my time at attention. And are there any other questions about this task? I think okay. So let's move to the new task. And before that, a small announcement that I actually, you probably remember the last time I said that there could be, like, if you want to participate in building the tasks or doing something like helping with this processes and the community. And actually, the Edmund, the participant, actually very successful participant, said he would like to try. And we actually built the new task with him together. And I could even say that he contributed more than me. So it's a new experience. The task is built with the help of the Edmund, and I hope it will be also good. And I hope it will be more examples like this, because this is like more this is the way how it could live for more time with the contributions of other participants. And so, and I invite others if you want. It could be one time or a continuous thing. I would be glad if you join. So again, yeah. So let's move to the week 8. Yeah. So here's the new topic we didn't cover before at all, and I think it's very interesting. The actually it's coming out of the personal experience partly, because that it's kind of hard to estimate anything related to the API of the token for in liquidity pool, how much you would earn from providing liquidity. And for this task, it's somewhat simplified, but still can help you to understand how to work with this data. So for Meteora specifically, for the DLLM liquidity pool, and specifically for USDT, USDC, which are just some subset of the liquidity pools, we want to analyze the duration of positions. It's not like the API, because to analyze API, you also need more, like you need more data, not just the understanding when the position opened and closed. but it's still like, if you want to work with this, the logical first step would be to understand this part. So yeah, so how it works. I think it's good to start with this, actually with this scheme, so that how like if the person wants to participate in liquidity pool, for example, this Meteora one, the first of all, like it's creating the position, it's initializing, and then some liquidity added. Usually it's the same step, like you're initializing and adding some liquidity, maybe two different calls, but the same transaction. And sometimes it could be some iterations, removing liquidity, adding liquidity, claiming fees. But usually, again, it ends with the transaction when you remove all liquidity, claiming all fees, and closing the position. Because positions are usually expensive. Like, for example, it could cost $10 of Solana to have the position initialized. So usually it's closed when it's no longer liquidity in the pool. Like, you're not contributing more liquidity, so you don't need the position, and you get back all the Solana you put during the initialization for the rented fees. So, I mean, yeah. So, and so basically, this is how the life look of the position. So I think the important part here is that if you're like started the position, then added some liquidity, removed, have some fees, and then you close in the position, even if you're contributing to the same pool, it would be a new position. That's just important thing to understand. And yeah, so let's go one again to check if it's not if we're not missing something. So the first of all, it's we're only considering this USDT USDC pairs. The second of all, we are interested in the open and close events, like to understand what is duration. We need to understand that some positions could still be open, so we need to account for this in our queries. And of course, it is, as far as I know, it is possible to open the position without contributing liquidity, because it's technically it's two different calls. I'm not sure if there is any in real life, is there any positions without liquidity adding, but I mean, it is important for us that it was something. So it's up to you either to check if there is some liquidity added, or to check if it's impossible to have the position opened, or like in real life there are no positions without liquidity added. In this case, you don't need to check this. Okay. Yeah. Let's go through the example. I think it's a good thing. So this is the actual position for this liquidity pool. Yeah. So this is 3 transactions. You also have links in the explanation, but let's this. No, it's just a transaction one by one. The first one, you see here that no, actually the last one. Let's go the other one. The first one is that we are here. We see that we add in some USDT in the in this pool for the USDT USDC market. So I think this is clear. And here we see that only USDT is added, no USDC. But it's fine. It just means that they only USDT liquidity provided, and during the trading, it could change to USDC at some point. The next thing is that yeah, additional liquidity. This is like perfectly legal along the way. And the third transaction is that, first of all, we see that removing liquidity. And additional liquidity, probably this is the fee removed, is how it's shown. And there should be here also the let me check. Okay, it might be easier to see here. Yeah, they remove liquidity, claim fee, and close position. This is the instructions here. And here, the initialize position and add liquidity. And one more time, add liquidity. Yeah, so I think this is the one thing that is funny that they contributed was USDT, and initially here the USDT was contributed, and at the end it took out liquidity was actually USDC. So during the working of the pool, some of all of the USDC tokens converted to USDC, which is a perfectly normal and expected thing, just because it's always oscillating, and USDT converted to USDC and other way around. So you're not guaranteed that you will take out USDT in the end. So yeah, I think, but the commission actually, it's the fees are both USDT and USDC. It's also expected. Okay, so I think this is all I wanted to cover with the example. Let's get back here. So in order, again, to make it easier to check, and actually this data is not big. So usually, probably if you write a reasonable query, it could work with all of the data or even a year of the data for specifically these pools, because not so much transactions of initializing new positions of USDT, USDC liquidity pool. It's a very narrow thing. So for this, still, it would be easier to check if we have some limitation, and specifically the open position initialization should be in April. So this is the condition. And the second thing is that we only consider the data as if we are stopped to look at the end of the May. So we're not taking into account any data starting from June. It means that we are not taking into account the closing transactions for the positions or any other transactions. This is needed because I want this to be reproducible. Otherwise, if we wouldn't have this limitation, it would depend on the time when you run the query, if the position is already closed or not. So it would be much harder to check. Yeah, so I think that one more important thing here, the data source. No, it's later. So yeah, so what you want, the most important fields are the owner of the position, open time, and closing time. So that's it. The rest, like this analytical stuff, I wouldn't check, but what is important is that so if you have the position open time and closing time, you actually have the duration. So if these two are correct, these two also correct, and transaction count just need to be more than 0, basically. So you just need to have this condition checked. You don't need to have it in the output. And what is important here is this. So the Dune has actually the parset for this contract, for this program, it have it parsed. But an interesting thing for this task is that you see that there are a lot of methods. Yeah, so it's tens of them, and it's a part of the task to understand which are relevant, which are not. Not, of course, not of them are relevant. And to build your task, build your query using only the information needed, but it's not hard, but it may take some learning and understanding what's in here. For example, like there is an initial expedition here, and we see that so it's a perfectly normal table you can query. Yeah, and it's not big. And here, it's initialize LB pair. So I wouldn't go through all of them, but I just saying that it's part of the task to understand what is relevant, to check all these conditions we have here. Like for example, if how to check if it's USD USDC pair, and how to understand when the position was opened and closed. Yeah, so take your time with this, and I mean, I don't think it's very complicated, but it's a more in this sense, it's more real world thing to do. Like you, you actually had a lot of data. You need to understand how to use which one is important, which one is not. Yeah. Yeah. So that's again the one the what would be checked is this owner position and open and close time. And if it's not closed yet, it just should be null. And yeah, if you want to educate yourself on how the DLLM is working, you can start from here. Yeah, but I wouldn't get in details. So like behind this very basic understanding, you don't need to like to solve this task. But if you actually want to deep digger, you may need to get more information how this um, pools work, specifically because this is the pool with concentrated liquidity, as far as I remember, or maybe this one is not. So like there are different pools, and you need to understand what you're working with. So it might be important to learn about the pools. Okay, yeah, yeah. That basically the rest is very standard. The form. Yeah. Do you have any questions? Maybe. Yeah, so it's maybe I get very quickly over this. So why the liquidity pools are working at all? The main answer, yes, it generates profit. Yeah, so that there are some ways how you like invest your, I guess, tokens, funds on blockchain, and one of them is providing liquidity. And how it's working is that you put, for example, the person put 3,000 USDT in the pool. That means that the pool, it lets other people to change USDT for USDC. And during any operation with the swap of USDT for USDC or other way around, it will generate a very small fee because it's a stable coins and it's a lot of competition in this like for this specific pair, because it's less risk. And like most of the fees go into the person who is providing liquidity, and some of it to the contract, to the platform, or specifically for Meteor in this case. So basically that's it. So I think that it's not much. It's like definitely single digits percent of the uh, uh, like the ratio, like per year, how much you get per year for this money, but it could be something. So it's an alternative to other contracts, for example, where you lend these tokens. No? Did I answer the question? Yeah, I see that the answers. So yeah, we don't have much time left. I just want to iterate once more. Like if there is also other participants that are already successfully finished at least one task. Like if you want to try to do something in the field of more like organization and building tasks or doing something also useful for the community, write me. Yeah, I think that's it. And I will give more information today about the previous task. And yeah, good luck with this one.